going on, you gorgeous bastards out there? Glad you made it. It's another So-So production. We're doing it Friday, TGIF. It's Friday the 18th of November 2022. Baby boys, baby girls, what's up? Ladies and gents. Pizza pie in the sky, that's amore. Chirping birds, dropping turds, that's amore. Love your hips, pussy lips, that's amore. Bathroom stalls, licking balls, that's amore. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, let's get right into it. Let's start having some fun. It is Friday. That one's for you out there. Sing along next time if you like. And we're just rocking and rolling. It is Friday, baby boys, baby girls. It is, man, so many things are going down this weekend. Big events are going down this weekend, globally speaking. One of the biggest, one of the things that I'll discuss a little bit today is perhaps the World Cup. Soccer is coming up. Oh, shit, son. Daughters, cousins, second cousins, third removed from your mother's side. Stepbrothers and sisters too, that's right, family, essentially, community, globally. We're coming to watch together. What are we doing together? I guess we're gathering around a bunch of, we're watching a bunch of men with some nice quads and calf muscles. Yeah, some teardrops perhaps, run around them fields 11 on 11, that's 22, plus thousands of people watching in the stadiums in and around the world. And yeah, man, that's just it. We're just going to be looking at some men's and some balls. And there's going to be some balls being switched around, passed around between these men from all around the world. So shout out to everybody doing it for the love of the game, for the love of the sport. And of course, yeah, before I get into that, before we get into the soccer, let me just break it down here again for a second. If you've been with me for some time now, thank you very much for all the love and support. You know who you are out there. If you're just joining me today, buckle up, buckle down. Where can you find these videos? You're asking yourself out loud. Let me answer that for you. Patreon.com/RobSag, where you can give us a fiscal pump or bump or something, dude, if you like. And where else can you check it out? On YouTube, on Instagram. Name of the show is what? Glad You Made It. Glad You Made It. Say it one more time with me. Glad You Made It is the name of the show. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you very much. Dropping the heat and just having some fun. Just touching base. Touch and go. Just go. No touchy. But that's what we do around here. And hopefully I can be of assistance in terms of, because there's a lot of people, out there dealing with different things. And before I get into the different things, let me just reassure you. And also I should mention, kids out there, if you're watching, you shouldn't be watching. This is a adult production made for adults. First of all, thank you very much. So if you're under 18 watching, we're your parents. But also, as soon as you turn 18, you turn on this channel and you start watching. That's what it is. And if your kids are watching out there, that's on you, son, lady. But also, it's like with everything else that they get access to, it's not the worst thing here, but it's not the, it's not for kids. Let's just put it that way. But what I was trying to say is that storytelling is not for the faint of heart. Storytelling is not for the easily, rocked. It's not for the faint of heart. We've said that. It's not for the easily rocked. We've said that already as well. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the person who is, because you're like, how do you keep doing it in terms of how do you avoid injuries? How do you keep on going? And that's what it is. Sometimes, I tell myself that every day. I ask myself that every day, as a matter of fact. I'm like, how do you keep doing it? But then I remind myself that you are what you do. You are what you eat and do. And also, there's no backing down. And let's say you pick up an injury. This is very, that's what, and I do here and there. I'm not going to shy away from telling you all the ins and outs of baseball or storytelling baseball. The other day, just back here on Wednesday, got a little pimple on my earlobe. right here on this left one. And I'm like, let me nip it in the bud, because that's what I do with pimples, dude. No pimp's gonna land on my face and take up turf without having to talk to the man right here and like, let's see, you know, you gotta just like pay up or something if you're gonna be renting out territory up here. And I make an example. I go out of my way. I go out of my way to just be like, oh, and I'll squeeze it. Even if it's not, if it's like premature squeezing, I'll get in there. Sometimes you shouldn't do that. And yeah, I ended up not popping it, but I ended up bruising and like enlarging my earlobe. It's gone down now. It kind of looks normal, but on Wednesday, it was triple the size, ladies and gents, because I squeezed it too hard and I don't even know what I did, dude. But I give myself a good old classic boo-boo on the earlobe. And man, oh man, did it hurt. It still hurts a little bit. I don't know what I did, but it's all good. It looked like for a second, it looked like after I finished squeezing and it got enlarged, it looked like my ear got AIDS. You know, ear AIDS? Looked like it got, and that's what I freaked myself out for a second. I'm like, oh no. What do I do if it stays enlarged like that? I can't go around like lobster. Like, that's what it is, baby. Life is all about balance. And you think I want to walk around the neighborhood, you know, just tilting a bit to the left, son? And that's the thing. You're like, man, how do you overcome these obstacles? A lot of people in your position would have taken some time off. A lot of people in my position would have taken some time off, but not this guy. And not you out there in your position either. You don't take time off either. Well, you should take some time off. Everybody should take some time off. But nonetheless, if you're like on a nice roll, if you're like, oh man, let's keep going, let's keep going. If you got that mentality as well, I digs it, you know. But like, you know what I mean? It's time management balance. What I'm trying to get to. And this side was way bigger than this side, and I'm like, man, this is gonna impact a lot of things. And I'm just thinking alternatively, like, what could I do if it stays double or triple the size? And I'm like, oh, well, you got to squeeze the other side to make it even now. So it's just, but I'm like, you know what? You've done enough squeezing. You've let out something. It wasn't pus. It wasn't blood. I don't know what it was, but it was like, oh man, I'm telling you, it looked like ear AIDS for a second. It just started off with a regular pimple too, and that was weird because I don't normally get pimples on my earlobes. I don't know what it is, man. It is what it is, and we dealt with it. Nonetheless, that's what I'm trying to get to. You're like, how do you keep doing this? Let this be a little bit of motivation out there for you, and like, you know, you pick up a little. Oh man, you bump your knee on that sharp edge of the corner of the bed, and you're cursing the gods. You're like, God, why me? Why this guy? And you're asking yourself out there, do good guys finish last? Only in the bedroom, that is. You know, sometimes you try your best is all I'm telling you, but nonetheless, man, it's that attitude of just like, oh, I'm not gonna let this injury like get in my way. You know, that's what it is. And yeah, I'm all right, I'm okay, no big deal. That's we just like, I don't let these things get to me. So that's what that is, baby. So if you come down with an injury as severe as mine, if your injury is as severe as mine, I don't want you to be like, oh, you know, don't come here with that like, oh, I got a broken leg, or I got a like, you know, oh, my hips like dislocated, oh, my elbow's like in my asshole right now for some reason due to heavy fisting sessions in the evening, in the AMs, early hours in the AMs, and you've dislodged your shoulder or something. You're missing a hip. You're coming down with excuses. Oh no. You know, regularly our fisting sessions go over so smoothly. This time I happen to dislocate a elbow or a shoulder, or like left it in someone's butthole or something, lady, fella. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's what we just keep on rocking. Just duct tape it back up and you just keep on rocking and rolling. And at one point, you know, do take a little bit of time off here and there. And that's all about balance as well. But that's what I wanted to just put out. This isn't for this is not for the faint of heart. This is not for the easily rocked. Okay? Injury, no injury. We get in there. We hustle. We get in the mix. We mix it up ourselves. We bring the mix. We bring the cake mix. Trail mix. And we just keep on mixing it up, babies. This one's for you guys. So what I'm doing out here is I'd like to essentially be making you laugh, hopefully via them air vapes. And, you know, long term, hoping to get out there, trying every week. I'm sending those emails, trying to get spots, do a little bit of stand-up, practice what I'm working towards. And that's the essential goal, is to make you laugh, is what I'm trying to tell you. Why? Why are you obsessed with making people laugh? Why would you, you know, it's just like, I don't know what it is. I've obsessed over it. I'm in love with it. I'm married to it at this point, knee deep in the game, and I can't back out. And one of my intentions is like, I want to be of service, and like, what kind of service are you providing? Well, if the ha-has are coming in handy and they're hitting you right here, guess what? I am, sometimes maybe it started off as a niche market. Maybe I was just like in it to be like, maybe if I could just make someone's day, even one individual in society, even if one person's got, let's say, a loose prolapsed anus out there, right? And it's all fun and dandy. You're in your, I don't know, late 20s, mid 30s, early 40s. I don't know your age category. It doesn't matter. But you're out there dangling around a big old loose prolapsed anus. And it's just like, and it's all fun and game. Because right now you're in that, like, early stages of life still. You're, again, early 20s, mid 20s, 30s, 40s, whatever. It's manageable for you. And you're like, man, life's just, you're just like, oh, you're just walking down the street just like, without a care in the world, just twirling that small intestine like a little baton or like a little billy club, but it's attached and it's yours. And it's a thing because it exists out there. And to myself, I was just thinking, I'm like, man, if these people are providing a service and, doing whatever it is that they're doing, I'd like to be of service to them. And in any case that, you view these things, should you see it, not like maybe you frequent it on a regular, or maybe you just come across it by chance, like your boy, and you're like, whoa, what is that? I gotta check that out for a couple of minutes. And then, you're like, my God, it's what it is. And you're just like wondering to yourself, how do people like manage that? And I started to think about myself. I'm like, if that's a potential problem, I can be a potential solution, because that's what I see a problem, solution up, baby. I'm like, I can't help it. So I'm like, these people, lovely people, individual, no judgment, of course, whatsoever. And yeah, they're doing a thing, and they're basically, it's like humans, but like, if you're not familiar, I'm sure you've seen it. Again, as adults, I'm sure you've seen it out there. It's like, it's typical classic, what I like to call baboon ass. You got a baboon ass. Everything's normal, everything's normsies, but got a giant prolapsed pink reddish asshole, and it's weird. And any second you're like, oh man, is it gonna explode? Maybe. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But that's the thing. I was like, man, how can I be of service? That's, because like when during performance, they're probably finding everywhere. Like, what about everyday life? Because you don't think about it. You're just walking down the street. One of your neighbors could be potentially that man or woman with that prolapsed anus out there. And you're not thinking about them, are you? Nobody's talking about these guys and gals. And I'm like, maybe I should talk to them. Because somebody out there has got it. Somebody out there has got it because you see them online. And that's the thing. You go out into normal society, whatever that is, and you're doing I'm just going to do regular shopping today. I'm going to just regular pumping of the old gas into the car. I'm just going to go, do a little bit of laundry, go get a haircut, go, I'm going to go just mow the lawn. Now, the person right across the street could be that person that's, I don't know, something by day, prolapsed anus by AM. You know what I'm saying? So, first of all, don't judge them. Second of all, I'm saying I've got a solution. Because if you come here, you do the laughs on a regular basis, what are you doing? You're working on your core. You're working on your abdominal muscles. And all of a sudden, you find it much easier to manage this prolapsed anus. I'm not saying this is going to be you know what? I should think of the branding a little bit more. I'm not going to say this is a solution, but I'm just going to say this is perhaps a remedy. Perhaps something, that could be of assistance. And that's one of the things you got to think about. It's, it's all fun and games. When you're out there, when you're doing your thing, just, you're in the moment. You're just letting it all hang out. And you don't think of the consequences that come after. I'm talking like when you're 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, and it's just, now what are you going to do? It's loose. Man, oh man. It's going to be weird in like thousands of years from now, when we're like, our species is up in the floating, like we are floating right now too, but like, floating in outer space, perhaps from maybe in another planet, or maybe on a little spaceship or space plane ship, right? They're out there, and that's what humanity's like continuing on. And they'll be looking at history just like we do now. We look back at history, we're like, oh, this happened in like 1213, this happened at like 1575, and then they'll be looking back again thousands of years from now. They'll be pulling up videos in adult classes and with lasers, because everything's going to be cutting edge laser tech, and they'll be like pointing with a laser, and there'll be a display of people engaging in prolapse butt sex, and they'll point to it, and there'll be discussions, and they'll try to like philosophically figure it out. What was going on like, oh, like what happened? And just to clarify, if this may be of assistance in thousands of years, what happened? I got a hair in my mouth. That's what happened. Just try to pretend like it's not there. Oh yeah, nothing's there. Just keep talking. What the fuck is this? I think I swallowed it. I think I just swallowed hair. Like a little cat, like a big cat. Little fur balls coming out or something. Dude, that's what it is. That's what it is. That's what we do around here. I've seen cats do that. I've seen humans do that too. And we're all the same at the end of the day. Boys and girls, what were we talking about? Yeah, that's the thing. Essentially, I want to be a service to these, to these ladies and men out there who have, they walk amongst us. You don't even know. That's what a small portion of the population has got them, dangling little intestines. Just like a little loose sausage, hanging out the back door. Push it up, push it up, push it up. Push it up. I'm not gonna, definitely not there's no attraction whatsoever. Just fascinated by it because it's weird. Not that's a far stretch. I'd be down to put on a pair of gloves and poke one gently, just to, because it looks like they're about to pop. Most of them, all of them, they look like they're about to just, oh man, gosh. And if that, oh god, what are you guys doing to yourselves out there? But also live your best life. I'm not judging or anything, but it hurts. I'm assuming it will hurt. Looks painful, but that's why I'm here. Tune in every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and get a couple of laughs. It wouldn't hurt you to work on these abdominal. I'm just telling you, man, 70, 80 years old, you don't want to be walking around the old nursing home. You got a wheelchair for you and a little mini wheelchair for your loose intestines, essentially. You got it's like a lap dog. Or it's maybe just a regular wheelchair, but then you'd have to let me lift my intestines and put on my lap. That's the future. We're about to see that, basically, because we're in it right now. We're living it right now. In about 40, 50 years, I think is when we're going to see these, somebody's going to figure something out with these people, man. They're out there doing it. So just letting you know, I'm there trying my best to be of service. And you're welcome. Pokey. A little pokey right there. Boys and girls, but let's not get distracted from the focus of this program. Because this is a serious, we talk about everything and nothing, so don't let a little bit of talk and chit chat about loose assholes distract you from the main things that are going down in our world today or this weekend, or just in general. What's going on? What's going up, down, east, west, north, south, in all directions. A lot of things. But I believe we wanted to talk about football, soccer as we call it here. And it is going down starting this Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, on the 20th. And yeah, it's going to be most of you guys and gals out there know it's going to be in Qatar, which is going to be, I've said it once, I'll say it again, it's going to be the gayest World Cup out there. So, man, they love gay people down there, for sure. And they love most people down there. So, things that they want you to be doing out there. Drinking. Completely, they want you to go out there and just drink. Nothing like a Middle Eastern country and a drink. Alcoholic beverages and Muslim nations are like this. You don't believe me, you say. Try it out. Try it out. So yeah, engage in, go out there, take photos, lots of photos, videos too. They want you to be recording everything. Of course, that's what I've heard. That's what they said. And they said, yeah, film everything, record everything, kiss on the mouth a lot with just kiss, hold hands, look like you're having a ball, look like you're having a blast out there. And yeah, if you're gay, they want you to be extra gay, I think. That's what I think. I may be mistaken. Don't take my word for it. Do your own research and everything. But I'm just saying from what I've heard, because that's what it is. This is an opportunity, football, soccer aside, this is an opportunity for the world to come together and put aside our differences. And if we can't do that, some people are going to get locked up and doing hard time. It's either that or we get along. It's like, so careful out there, but also like have fun engaging in the footy. And if you see anything else that's inappropriate, like let's say, or maybe it's appropriate, I don't know, it's all like cultural, it's all, cultural specific. If you see, like if you go down there and there's still, let's say, it's the early stages of the FIFA World Cup, maybe there's still like, slathering up a wall with some, like maybe somebody's like finishing up a little bit of drywall on the stadium. So I'm assuming there's going to be multiple, or a hotel or something. And you see this individual that looks like, potentially like a migrant worker without some papers, or a migrant worker that's just, it looks, he most likely is looking a little bit dehydrated, malnourished. They're still finishing up work, and, engage them, ask them to do more work. And because they're there, or they were at one point, and like, it's really cheap. You can like literally like be like, I don't know how much, but like you can really like, you can spend on other things. Like if you're down there, you can buy gold bars, I'm sure. You can buy like, you can rent out like Lambos with tigers in them, I'm assuming. And yeah, but like if you see a worker, they love to work for like almost close to nothing in terms of pay. And it's just like, it's a lifestyle. It's a choice. It's a, some say it's a choice, some say it's like a lack thereof or something. But nonetheless, I want you to participate. What else can you do to like really like be like, because I'm the type of traveler that likes to go and like explore and like immerse myself in the atmosphere and the local culture and custom. I don't know, go out there. If you see at any point, I'm not saying that you will, because I've never been there. It might, but like it just might be, what I've, it might just be hearsay. I don't know. But if you see like ladies being oppressed, what do? You're in the culture. You oppress ladies down there. That's what you do. That's what you do. Just like whatever you see like the regulars out there doing, do the same thing. When in Rome. So yeah, oppress women down there if you like. What else can you do? You could, anybody who's like, if you see anybody just like raising awareness or like concerns about anything, point it out to the local authorities so that they can be dealt with immediately. Again, you're a part of the culture. You want to like, when in Rome, put away a couple of folks. So just like low key, get in there, have some fun. And yeah, spend a ton of money. But nonetheless, all that aside, I want to just put all that aside. Forget about the, I just want, because I've done it, because I have to. In order for me to like legit, I have to like compartmentalize, baby. I got to put that away, put that aside, potential, questionable labor practices for sure, but we're just going to park that for a minute and just concentrate on the footy, on the football. God, why? Just concentrate on the just the footy, just the ball. It's just a ball and a bunch of, beautiful men out there with some quads and calves that can run for 90 minutes. Yeah, I'm excited, dude. I'm excited later, just because, some of my favorite players growing up get to be, and this is probably going to be their final World Cup. After this, they will never, ever again play in any other World Cups. They're most likely never, ever gonna, I'm talking about like my two of our world, global favorite soccer players, most famous soccer players out there for the right reasons, because of skill, talent, merit, and, other stuff too. I'm sure there's other stuff too. You know, they probably got like nice abs. They both probably do. I'm talking about Messi and Ronaldo, of course. You know, but these fellas, they're beautiful fellas. They've been footing the ball for quite some time, entertaining the world, providing so many other things, you know, being examples, being, you know, teammates, being captains and teammates, passing the ball, receiving the ball, holding on to the ball, releasing the ball, heading the ball, kicking the ball, running, high knees, baby, high knees, fast, sprinting, running back, being very like, oh man, oh, being like, oh, I love soccer, and like the good ones that do it on a level that's just like, oh, that is, oh, I don't know how to describe it, but it's basically like, man, thank you guys to those two fellas and everybody else, obviously, in the soccer world, whether you're just fans or other players, but those two individuals, two of my favorite guys, very interesting cats, very interesting lives. Yeah. That being said, it's all coming to a screeching halt after this World Cup. And you'll never see Ronaldo or Messi in another World Cup unless we put them on juice, baby. And I'm open to that. If you guys are open to that, I am open to that. If we can put Ronaldo on the juice, like, you know, and Messi too, and have them just play till they're like 45, and by the time you're like 45, and they're super athletes, right? And you know how you get to a certain age, even if you're like a regular dude or a regular lady, after a certain age you get a level of like, and again, it's to varying degrees for everybody, but you get this like man bod or like dad strength or mom bod or mom strength. You know, you become like, you might not even like, again, regular people have this as well. Like you see somebody in their like mid 40s, looks a little bit just like a, you know, looks like a fluffy old little, like, you know, not too big, not too small, looks like a, you know, like a teddy bear, but that teddy bear, it's got like dad power, or like starting, it's what sometimes they call it old man power or something, or like old lady power. But sometimes, you know, and it starts off, I think, in your 40s, 50s, and then eventually down the line, like 70, 80, 90, you lose power down the line. But like there is a phase in your life where you go, oh, that person maybe not athletic, or maybe not, you know, your typical notion of strength doesn't maybe resonate with them in terms of like, oh, you look at the bod, you're like, probably not that, but they still, you know what I mean? So these people, these like superhuman athletes, so if they're in like their mid 40s still, if they like, that is, if they like, and they're juicing, they'll have like, at that point, and they're both dads, if I'm not mistaken. So they've got like dad strength, and like they'll be a little bit thicker, get them on some like, you know, TRT, or like put them on some like HGH, or put them on some like test or something, and just get them a little bit beefier. So mad skills, beefier, and we let them like, you know, if they could like low key like use their like, you know, if you're playing like 45 years old, I'll let you like, you know, use your elbows a little bit more than usual. I'll let you, you know, wet willy somebody in the middle of the game. I'll look the other way. I'm not gonna lie. 45, wet willy. All of a sudden, I'm like, who is it? It's Messi, Ronaldo. Still doing it? All right, I'm gonna look the other way. All right, so I'm just saying, this is probably gonna be there, unless, you know, again, unless we're willing to put them on, unless they're willing to be put on steroids or like any other performance enhancing drugs. This will probably be the last World Cup that we'll see them in, which is, you know, it's bittersweet. It hits a little here, it hits right there, because like, you know, you grow up with certain people, they're great at what they do, and it's, but I'm happy because I got to see all these amazing games play throughout the years. And yes, I'm sure they're both going to be going on. It's not like they're retiring right after the World Cup or anything. There's probably going to be a little bit more, you know, a few more years of us being able to see these beautiful players out there doing their magic on the field, on the pitch. But then later, I'm sure we're going to get to see where they carry that magic off the pitch. And maybe it'll be close to the pitch. I don't know. Maybe one of them will become a, or maybe they will both be. By the way, before you guys retire, at one point, relatively sooner rather than later, if you could link up in one team, if I could see Messi and Ronaldo in one team, because that's like, oh, man. I'm just saying, think about it, one season somewhere of your choice, wherever you like, and yeah, just like school these other teams for like a season or two. That's just me. I don't know. That's my soccer fantasy. That's my soccer fantasy. Those two guys on one team, any team really. Not like any team. I'm not talking about like, you know what I mean? I'm talking like Premier League. I'm talking La Liga. I'm talking Premier League and La Liga. I'm talking strictly Premier League, or alternative option, maybe down the line, sooner rather than later, maybe. I don't know. Again, depending on your schedule, you can both team up, move, play in the US, and just like, I don't know. I don't know. I do want to see those two guys on the same team. Probably not gonna happen. Most likely won't happen. But then again, you never know. You never know. I'm putting it out there. You guys think it over. Sure, somebody can, I'm sure you guys can manage the deets and the money and the transfers and what have you. You guys are professionals. Keep on rocking and rolling. But yeah, this weekend, the World Cup is starting. And I don't know who's gonna win. It's the squads are nice. The squads are tight all around. Most squads are tight and nice. And yeah, I'm rooting for obviously Team Canada. The boys, the men in reds. We're coming right at you. We're already probably there right now. Our boys are there in Qatar. Okay? And the boys are ready to just throw down some soccer skills, throw down some footies. And this message goes out strictly to the men's soccer team here in Canada. You guys represent the nation. You guys represent Canada. Canada's right behind you from afar. Like, we're far, but we're behind you. I'm sure we got a couple of Canadians down there, and they're behind you, which means we're behind you. And we're also in front of you. We're on your side. We're on your side, but like you're doing for the next, several weeks, you're going to be doing the heavy lifting there, repping hard. And I want you to, solely rely on your soccer skills out there. I want to see dribbling. I want to see tackles. I want to see bicycle kicks. I want to see scorpion kicks. I want to see lizard kicks. I want to see backflips. I want to see front flips. I want to see the ball on the pitch, and at one point maybe I want to look to the side, look back to the TV, and not see the ball. If I happen to just be like, oh, where's the ball? Man, if you happen to get a ball in the mix of that, that'd be like, that's a whole lot of magic. But I was just gonna say, if I don't see the ball and it's missing for a couple of seconds, like, where'd it go? Ticky-tacky, fast, baby, fast. Back and forth. And what do we do? When we run to the forward to score them goals, immediately we run back to cover that counter-attack. These are just like the basics. You run, and then you gotta like sprint back. But you guys know what you're doing out there. So again, defense, hard defense. Nobody should be getting in the box. If anybody's getting in that box, I want you to just have a tantrum. I want you to just, I don't know what I want you to do, but I want you to just go out there and win. And if you think, like, if you see things not going in your way, if you put everything you've got on the pitch, and I'm talking like skills are all on the pitch, physical ability all on the pitch, mental capability all on the pitch, and you've given and you're sweating, and maybe you've somebody's tackled you with them cleats, maybe you got a little bit of a, maybe you just got a little grazed right there on your forearm or something because somebody like tackled you in midair, and you're like, man, I'm giving it everything. But if you start, for whatever, I'm not saying this will happen, but you never know, you best be prepared. If you're coming short for whatever odd reason, I want you to get in their head, start playing mental games. I'm talking psychology. I'm talking just emotionally get to know them. It would help if you spent some time prior to the game with these different squads, a lot of squads, and you're gonna have to send a couple of players to just like, I want you to get to know them, get to know their personal lives, what makes them tick, build relationships, what makes them happy, what gets them upset, what gets them crying. Find out what gets them crying. I don't forget about what makes them happy. We're not here to make them happy. Find out what they don't like, find out what makes them cry, and whisper it on the pitch as you're running by, dribbling, tackling, shooting, scoring, heading. Oh, maybe one of them doesn't like fucking like lollipops. Just run around the pitch, lollipop, fucking every time, dude. Lollipop, just, it's in his ear. Lewandowski, off his game. Love that dude. But like today, as of Sunday, potentially we're gonna be like, face to face, nose to nose, toe to toe, calf to calf, thigh to thigh, hip to hip. And we're gonna be running back and forth. So you get in their head, or like whatever else, like, one of them's got like, and you're down there, you're there you're in the middle of the desert. It wouldn't hurt you to just grab a little bit, and I hope nobody else is listening because this is specifically to the Canadian men's soccer national team, national soccer team of Canada. You know, it's there for our team, our nation state, Canada. Sand. You grab sand. You stuff your briefs, boxers. I've not seen too many soccer players wear, on the pitch at least, and like you don't see boxer brief. Like you see briefs. You probably would not see boxers in terms of like undergarments for men, because like then the dangling balls for 90 minutes, you will. It's not good. It's not good. So that's the pro of this thing. You know, you're wearing the regular shorts on top, but you got like boxer briefs or some sort of like spandex shorts. Grab, because you're in the middle of the desert. Grab the sand and you're running by. You're running by. And as much as I love Ronaldo, as much as I love Messi, if you happen to be facing Argentina or Portugal, right there, what happened? Right there. And then you continue, baby. You continue. And I hope they're not hearing this because I love you guys. But still, when it comes to competition, putting up the W's is all that matters in this competition. You bring that trophy back home right here after you win. Does it come to the nation that wins it? Does it travel around the world like a loose little, you know what I'm talking about. Is that trophy a little tramp? Does it just get to go around the city? Does it get to be like the city or local, you know, is it like the city or local bicycle? Everybody gets a ride? Is it like the local subway, the metropolitan subway where everybody gets a ride? Is it like the Ferris wheel in the old school playground back in the day? Everybody gets a ride? Is it like a swing set where, like, if it's in your backyard, you know, family members get a ride, which is like, you know, but is it a swing set somewhere in the open, and does everybody get a ride? Is it like, you get the picture, or no? Does it stay stationary in the nation state that wins it, and the citizens of that nation state get to hug the trophy and like, oh, nice trophy, dude, nice trophy, and do we get to like, I don't know what I'm getting. Yeah, soccer, as you can tell, it's a big, you know, growing up, loved it, still do. And you know, it's nice to see the next generations coming up and doing it. It's a lovely sport. It's one of those things where I think has got, you know, it's managed to have success internationally, which is, you know, not too many things have that big of an impact internationally. And soccer happens to be one of those things where it crosses boundaries, crosses borders, overseas, underseas. In the ocean, people travel via boat to get to dry land where they can play the soccer, the footy, for the love of the game. And yeah, it's a beautiful thing, so I'm looking forward to seeing this. So yeah, what I'm trying to tell you, Team Canada, get in there, talking physically, mentally, emotionally. I've mentioned this before. I've mentioned this to the ladies soccer team. I'll say it to the men's as well. Look all, you know, go out there and be like, yeah, we're so Canadian, eh? We're the friendliest nation on planet Earth, eh? And then offer them some fucking poutine, dude. Some poutine, extra gravy, extra dairy in that shit. Get them all messed up in their digestive system right there because they're not used to that thick old poutine and cheese and potato and gravy combination. But be like, yes, we're so Canadian, eh? And just like use, and it's feed them, feed a couple of them. Try this out. Spoonful, loads of spoonfuls in their mouths. And although this is about community, family, building tight bonds, and sportsmanship. Of course, the most important aspect of sports is always sportsmanship, good sportsmanship. No, I don't want to see any cheating out there, Team Canada. You know what I mean? No, absolutely not. I don't want you guys to do anything to, you know, compromise the integrity of the game. But like, you know, elbow. If you're running and you just happen to like, oh, a little. These are highly unacceptable, and these are not, I don't want to see any of that, but like, I hope I've made myself clear that I don't want to see any monkey business on the pitch. It's not okay. We got this. Coming from Canada to Qatar to take back what's ours, to take what's ours. We've never had it. Give it to us. It's ours. We've never had it. All you guys, most of you guys have had it, or at least you've been close to it. It's ours this time. We're having it. I don't care what we got to do. No, yes, and I care what we do. Keep it clean, above the belt. No monkey business, nothing. We're playing by the rules. By the rules. Just a bunch of 11 guys who are just out there to play it by the book. And I hope I've made myself clear. Win it! Team Canada. And bon chance to everybody else out there as well. That trophy's ours. It's ours. But yeah, you don't want to look like you're, it's whatever. It's whatever. May the best team win. But like Team Canada. Yeah, and everybody else out there as well. I hope you do well. But Team Canada rules. Fucking because we're up north, baby. We're up. Oh, who's on top, geographically speaking? We're on top. Okay. Had to get all that out there. Love you guys and thank you for all they get. The fans, the sport itself. FIFA could definitely do a little bit of sprucing up. A little bit of the old looking at the books. A little bit of the old look into the management or something. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Like, as an organization, one of the most organizations that's amongst the most powerful out there. It'd be nice to, But then again, we don't mix politics with sports. We say we don't, but we do, but we don't. We do, but we don't, but we do. But we don't, but we do, but we do, we do, heavily. But nonetheless, let's come together and, support what's right, which is at the end of the day, man. If we all can, at the end of the day, just have fun, all of us, that'd be grand. I'm talking loose assholes. I'm talking, exploited workers. If we can all get together and just, sit back for a second. Again, it's probably going to be hard for both of those groups sitting overall, because I'm not going to get into it, dude. You're probably like constructing in the heat, squatting, building, crafting, going on each other's backs to like a lot of work. Really, if anything, like we should, man. Thank you to all the workers, and that's one of those jobs that they'll never get thankful. We probably we won't even know who made it in terms of was there a worker who was like legit, like the best worker? We don't know. Or were they all just like low energy? Oh, it's too hot in here. Oh, I don't have enough water. Oh, no proper toilets or whatevs. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know. Enough of that. Just have fun out there. Remember, concentrate on what's important, and winning is the most important thing. Okay? Let's not get sidetracked. What else is happening in and around this world? My goodness. Big news, I guess. Big news. DT is back. DT is officially back, if I'm not mistaken. That is something that's, DT's back. And he'll be, talking about Donald Trump. He's back. He's back, baby. He's doing it. And yeah, man, one thing, it's, I don't, if we could together raise a fund somehow, all of us, to raise a fund to provide some more, if what I'm trying to get to is, I like to see the nation of the US, the United States, decide for yourselves, obviously. If everybody goes out there and decides to vote for DT, that should be cool. If they should go out there in a democracy and vote for somebody else, that should be cool too. What I would like to, if I can, not that I see it personally or not that I hear it, but it does come up on my feed, on my YouTube feed. A lot of times it'll just pop, and I've pressed not interested many a times, but I'll get it in there anyway. I don't know why, but I'll get late night talk show hosts talking about Trump, and it's gone on for I I can't even remember the last time that the major late night talk show hosts from, I guess, the old school classic media, like I think legit for the past easy, at least the past 8 years, I've just been hearing like how bad Trump is, or just Trump in general. Like, man, if we could like raise a fund, or I don't know what it, because these guys, and like it's like they've got the money too, and I don't even know what it is. It's not like they're lacking money. How can we pay you just to like maybe get a couple of different writers? Because I don't think they come up with their own stuff anyway. Just get a couple of different writers, or another, like there's so many other topics. God. So I don't know how I feel about it. I don't particularly have a dog in a race. I don't have any dogs. I don't have any races. And that's what it is. But man, just the thought of like late night talk show host going on for another 2 years until he's either elected or not, and then if he gets elected, another 4 years of them like, make these guys, if we can pool together an amount of money that will just be like, you don't have to go. I'm not the type that says like, oh, but like, just have a couple of different ideas. Anything, really anything. Talk about anything else. I challenge you out there, talk about anything else aside Trump for a couple of weeks if you can. Just like, if you can, because this is gonna be, man, it's been like 8 years of late night talk show hosts talking about Trump, and then another like 2 years from now, and then another 4 years from then. So what it is I'm like, either, somebody, because these fellas are just, man, they're so, I've said it before, and I get it. You guys love Trump. There's a few of you guys, 2, 3, 4 of you guys, maybe, a bunch of you guys love Trump. You're gay for Trump. I get it. You love the man. You love him so much you can't stop talking about him. So and that's cool. If you're gay for Trump, I get it. If you're gay for Trump, I get it. I don't, but I get it. So, if we can like allocate a little bit of money to have perhaps a couple of new writers, or I don't know how it works in the big corporate belly of the beast of the corporate old school legacy media. I don't know how you guys work and operate, but yeah, just a couple of different topics, or so, at least, not that I'm watching or anything, but the feed. You come up in my feed and I just like, did you hear about Trump? I was just like, oh God. Yeah. But that's how I feel about it. Maybe the majority of the people, I don't know how it works. Pretty sure a lot of people have tuned out. But nonetheless, because I do want to see like everybody like, we all do live in we're all, coexisting. And I'm just saying, like, just spruce it up. And some of you guys, most of you guys, actually liked when I was younger, and like I still like I love all people. I don't have anybody. It's just like change topics. It's really simple. Is all I'm asking. Just get a couple of different topics, and then sure, you can talk about them here and there. Talk about other people there too as well. But just for the sake of just like, I'm just saying. Got passionate there. I don't know why, because it's just constantly on my feed. Oh, God, get off my feed. Look here, look there. Looky here, lad. Looky here, lass. Don't want to linger on any topic for too long. So, with that being said, what else is going on? So yeah, he is running. He's, we'll see what happens. Another, I don't know if this is, man, I don't know what's, yeah, don't come here for like, if you're coming here for like stats and facts and shit, like wrong place, wrong guy. Hey, you got the wrong guy. We're here to have fun. We're here to like talk about different things and just like weird things that you hear sometimes, whether it's happening in my personal life or out there in the world, externally. But you'll hear about it and you'll be like, what? Did I just hear that, or did I see this? I recently on a news network saw that apparently this is a thing. The GOP, the good old party, if I'm not mistaken, that's what it stands for. The good old party, the Republican Party in the US is opening up an investigation into the Biden family potentially being involved in criminal activities involving many countries and many different people, But one interesting fact that I heard, one interesting word or phrase that I heard, because like you hear criminal activities, it could be anything. And there's been so many, like, I don't know too much about it because again, I'm looking from afar. I'm not even that invested in it. I did hear some things way back, what's going on with the Hunter buying a laptop, what's he got on there, who's he talking to, what's he doing, what kind of business is he doing, is he involved with this guy, is he involved with that guy, what else is going on? But I just heard recently that the GOP, again, the Republican Party of the US, is going to be opening up an investigation looking into the Biden family's potential criminal activities, and one of the criminal activities is potentially, again, I have no idea, could be, alleged, it could be, but even allegedly, it's one of those things that's like not an easy thing to just, you don't just like go allegedly, oh, they might be allegedly involved in human trafficking. And I heard this on a legitimate, like, it's a legitimate news website. What? Human trafficking. Allegedly, though. Allegedly. So you don't know, and I don't know, but like that's something like, you might hear allegedly somebody, dined and dashed. Allegedly. Not the most noble acts in society, but like, God forbid you should find yourself in a situation where you've done that in the past once or twice, you know what it is. It's probably not so bueno. But at the end of the day, most people can be like, okay, a little dine and dash once, maybe twice. Still not appropriate, but not like the worst thing either. And then you can incrementally go up from there. But like after a certain point, you cross into like allegedly, they might be allegedly doing human trafficking. Allegedly. What? It's not a light thing. You don't just find yourself like, it's not like a hobby or like a sport or like a thing that you just like, you either do or you don't. And it's something that you either like heavily involved in or in like, it's weird. That's what I'm saying. I just heard it. I'm just saying it. So I don't know if it's true, weird. If it's not true, doesn't probably take away from the fact that there are other criminal activities going on. Because man, at the end of the day, you look at like, just weird things happen in our lives and in this world. I don't know what to say. That one's just one of those things where you're like, oh my God. I mean, like I wouldn't be shocked if I heard like, oh, okay, a president or, a government representative is doing, they shouldn't, you don't get to like, you hear Nancy Pelosi, you hear access to information, you hear like things like insider training, and I believe she's actually retiring too, and I hope that's like a legitimate retiring, not like an MMA retirement where they go out and then they're like, oh, you know what, I'll just come back and do a couple of like whatevs. So I hope she's actually like legit retiring. So like that kind of stuff, like you and I are even privy to it. We know that there's, quite a bit of fuckery that goes in and around of the world of politics and everything else that it manages to get into, and it seeps into a lot of things, evidently. And you see people doing weird things, allegedly. So, but that's the thing. And then you see like, oh man, it's just like bonkers to even think about that. I don't even know what I was saying in terms of like how I feel about it. Well, how I feel about it is just I heard that and it's weird. That's how I feel about it. But yeah, man, how do you get involved in human travel? Let's put aside because like I won't know, and we won't probably like who knows. But like getting involved in human trafficking, that is, how do you even have that conversation? Where do you even get started? How would you even get started? Where would you have to go to like get involved in human trafficking? Are you just like hanging out by, man, it's got to be that's the thing. If you're getting involved in human trafficking, you're probably like, what type of individual would get involved in human trafficking? You probably have to either be very like rich and elite, so you have access to a lot of money, so you can do things that the average person doesn't have access to. And then there's probably some either like, and there's probably another like, there's probably different, it's complicated, it's complex, there's probably different levels to it. There's probably somebody, there's probably who the hell knows, man? Yeah, human trafficking, that's a weird one. But that's a reality of it too. Like, it's not like we don't have human trafficking. We have major human trafficking in and around the world all day, every day. Children, women, men, in some cases, whether it's, yeah, and it's for different reasons. Sometimes, people want to be, I guess, immigrating and they're trafficked, I guess, you're like, oh, I have to get out of this particular location because let's say my life is in danger, then you'd have to resort to human traffickers to get you from point A to point B, or multiple points, if you can't do it the legal way. And there's that aspect, but there's also the being involved in like sex trade, I guess, sex slaves, illegal sex workers, being involved in that world. How do you get involved in that world? How would you that's, yeah, like I said, there's probably like, I don't even know, there's probably like different levels to it. There's probably like some, it might be like, might not be like, it might like, you're probably going to meet different, you're probably not going to meet the rich guy with the money. You'll probably meet like, the men or women, I'm assuming, who operate in like the lower levels of the operation. Like, you probably need somebody to work with passports and like forging, and maybe that's a thing. And it's always a game of like keeping up with like the tech and the law, so it's a whole, man, jeez Louise. But yeah, being involved in human trade, you're gonna have to have access to shipping stations, shipping ports. You're like, man, but everything's moved online. I don't want to have a brick and mortar store. How do I just human traffic via the internets? You probably could. I don't know how, but you probably could if you wanted to. If you want to just like open up a online human trafficking store, and you're like, how do I get I don't know. That's what I'm saying. How do you get involved? And yeah, so if you're involved in human trafficking, write a comment, say how you got started. If you'd like to share, please feel free to share any comments, any information that you think is, that people will learn from. Your name, your real name, your legal name, your address, your location, the individuals that you're associated with. If you can just give us an insight into how these things work, the dark side of things, on the darker side of things, but and at the end of the day, and you're like, yeah, that's yeah, I don't even know what to say to that. So if that's man, that is weird. And those type of, it's weird because these things like the Ghislaine Maxwell thing happened, and again, like, she was, procuring underage prostitutes for dirty, wrinkly old men, and then she goes and does some time, but then we never look at like who's the list of clients. So these things are fascinating. It sucks that they exist, but they're fascinating and they do exist. And I don't even know what I was talking about, but they go hand in hand with everything. And yeah, if you found, I'm just saying, it'd be weird. It'd be totally weird, but also like, you wouldn't be, in this day and age, I don't think I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it is, but like if I found out that the current president of the United States, if his son or maybe he himself is somehow involved in like human trafficking, God, weird. But then you and I would probably be like, man, it's still, no, that'd be shocking. No, that'd be like if it like comes out legit. But that's the thing. It's probably like, I don't even know, man. With these things, it's like, will we ever find out? But it's fun to talk about. That's for sure. Yeah. If you want to if you're thinking out there, man, I wanna go out there and like get involved in human trafficking. God, that is a path that I do not wish for anybody. But if it's a thing, man. It's a thing that people apparently do out there. And anyway, anywhere, anytime, ladies and gents, it is the weekend. I want you to have fun out there. If you see anything that is sus, assess the situation. Walk away. Maybe get a little snap, just snap a little picture, snap a little recording video. You know, as the old saying goes, if you see something, say something, but then there's always the good old saying of snitches get stitches as well. So it's a whole balancing act at the end of the day. And I want you to have fun out there, whether you're in Qatar, experiencing and indulging in something, whether it's sports related or just like down there and you're like, you know what, I'm not there even for the sports. I just want to get out there and get localized, go out there and just, oppress a couple of people out there and just like learn something from it and come back. That's cool too. Keep on rocking and rolling, baby boys, baby girls. Amazing, wonderful things are happening in and around the world, and we are all part of it. Wherever you are, I hope you have an amazing weekend. I'll be back here again on Monday. This is what we do around here, baby, on Monday. And by then we'll have who do I think, before I go, who do I think will win the World Cup? I do want to make a wild prediction. If I could, if I had to, gun to my head, katana to my nuts, I'd say if I had to guess who would win the World Cup, there are a lot of good teams out there. Yeah, gun to my head, katana to my nuts. I'm gonna go with Argentina. And no particular reason, but that's just my gut feeling. It may be legit anybody, that's the thing. So if I wonder what you guys think. Who do you guys think is going to win? I think Argentina. Something inside me tells me it's going to be them. But then that could just be guess. So, I don't know. Have fun out there. I'll be back here again on Monday. Love y'all. Peace, gang.